This week on Inside Boulder News, Council OKs continued exploration into creating a local electric utility, cameras capture a rare river otter sighting, and local beekeepers feel the sting of pesticide use. Welcome to Inside Boulder News. I'm Natalie Wood. Nearly 2 months after a city analysis showed that charter metrics could be met, City Council authorized staff on Tuesday to continue exploring the possible creation of a local electric utility. The 8-to-1 vote came after a public hearing. About 50 community members spoke, with viewpoints ranging from excitement about the potential opportunities to concerns about risk and governance. I spoke with Regional Sustainability Coordinator Jonathan Cohen about what comes next.
Now we want to look at what we continue to call the should we municipalize. So we know that we can, but the council and the community need to understand what value is added by moving forward. Why does municipalization provide more than what we have right now today? There are a lot of pieces that are going to be happening over the next couple of months. I think most notably is to continue our evaluation or analysis of the technical, the financial, and the legal feasibility of creating the utility. So what folks are going to see is a lot of work on refining and continuing to sharpen our pencils in terms of the modeling that was done, but also council authorized staff to move forward on some of the more legal aspects of the project. We'll also be focusing on the governance structure of a utility, so looking at what options are out there, how different utilities function in terms of governing boards, or how their councils essentially provide the input and the oversight of the way the utility is run. So that will be critically important. And then also we'll be moving very quickly on the third-party analysis and evaluation of the modeling that the city did over the past many months.
At the start of the council meeting, City Manager Jane Bradegam spoke about why addressing our energy supply is so important. She linked success in this area to success in the community's overall commitment to climate action.
This community emphasized the importance of demand side, or the things that we have control over. Our efforts here in terms of efficiency and conservation with the renewal of the Climate Action Plan tax last November, passed with an 82%. I think that's extraordinary. And so we continue to be very, very aggressive on our demand side actions. If we truly want to reduce emissions, we have to look at the supply side. And there are multiple ways to do that. We're really focused on the goals. We're focused on achieving Boulder's energy future goals that are looking at emissions, looking at renewables, looking at how we protect our customers and have the ability to predict our rates over time and stabilize our rates over time, protect different populations of residents and businesses here in Boulder. So we have been focused on the goals.
To assess the analysis, Council authorized moving forward with the hiring of a third-party independent evaluator. Reports from that effort, as well as other Phase 2 work items, will be discussed by Council at the July 23rd study session. Check out the Energy Future website for up-to-date information. This playful creature likes to slide down snow-covered or muddy hills, ending with a splash in the creek. Boulder makes a fitting home for the North American river otter, although for more than 100 years it seemed like the species had reached local extinction. But a wildlife surveillance camera recently captured images of the first river otter in the area in a generation. To sight this creature in Colorado is rare, but for the last century, to sight it in Boulder was unheard of.
The northern river otter is a species that we've always really hoped that we'd discover. Nobody's seen one in Boulder down in the city in over 100 years.
But thanks to intense reintroduction efforts by the state, river otters are moving down on Colorado's endangered species list. In the late 70s, Colorado Parks and Wildlife moved over 100 animals into rivers on the western slope and have been monitoring them ever since.
We did a survey in 2002 to evaluate the status, and based on the results, the data that we got from that effort, we were able to downlist the species from state endangered to state threatened.
Recently, river otters have been spotted in western Colorado and even in Rocky Mountain National Park, but never in Boulder city limits until now. A camera set up by Open Space and Mountain Parks captured this rare glimpse.
These cameras give us this really accurate look of what's actually out there. They have heat and motion sensing technology, so an animal will walk by and it triggers the camera, it'll take a photo. And it's really a way for us to get some behind-the-scenes look at what's actually going on. We've always known that there's a chance that they could be around because they're somewhat geographically, nearby. We were just really excited to see it. Finally, they've wandered down.
The state evaluates the animal's success in Colorado based on distribution throughout the rivers. So spotting the river otter in Boulder is a promising sign.
This real demonstration of a success of the state having management authority of the species and being able to reintroduce it and get it reestablished and establish a self-sustaining population of river otters throughout western Colorado, and some of those populations spill over into the eastern slope of the Front Range as well.
Go to wildlifestate.co.us for more on river otters and to report sightings. From a habitat made for river otters to the perfect climate for many trees, Boulder's microclimate and soils promotes the growth of a wider variety of trees than anywhere else along the Front Range. The National Arbor Day Foundation has named Boulder Tree City USA for the 29th consecutive year to recognize the city's commitment to keeping those trees healthy. You can celebrate the Arbor Day season in Boulder with a children's art exhibit and tree plantings planned through May 18th. Just visit bouldercolorado.gov for details. Local beekeepers are getting ready to open up their hives for the season, but many are facing a buzzkill. Lauren Peterson explains their challenge.
This is some of the awards we've won, local fairs and state competitions with honey, and that's my wife Rosa. This has been a family endeavor. We originally got started to instill in our kids kind of farm values and ethics in an urban setting.
It's spring, and Miles McGahee, president of the Boulder County Beekeeping Association, is getting his hives ready for another season.
That's the key to beekeeping right there. It blocks their ability to communicate, and it tricks them into thinking they have to leave.
Speaking of leaving, local beekeepers have reported colony collapse since 2006.
I had 120 hives, and in one season I got wiped out to 12. Little puff smoke. You can see some of them have yellow balls on their legs. That's pollen.
Despite the decline, bees and their keepers are still hard at work to keep the colonies thriving. But they feel that the EPA is not working hard enough, so nationally, many are taking action.
The point being with the lawsuit against the EPA is we feel like they haven't performed their duties to regulate the pesticide industry. There she is. Thank goodness. Beautiful black carniolan with a little white dot on her back. There she's laying. Did you see her? She backed into that hole and laid an egg.
Finding the queen bee is essential to good beekeeping, as is solving colony collapse. Viruses, mites, and even cell phone towers have been blamed. But the group taking action against the EPA is certain of something else.
We have to move forward, but the pesticides we're using now are totally inappropriate for the environment.
He's referring to neonicotinoids, seeds that are pre-treated with pesticides before they are planted.
We used to treat it only when we saw a problem. Now we treat every seed regardless, and every cell of that plant has that poison in it.
Miles will be heading to California later this month to pick up new colonies to distribute around Boulder. He hopes that with greater awareness, we can solve colony collapse. For Inside Boulder News, I'm Lauren Peterson.
One last taste of honey? Anybody?
To find out more about the Boulder bee community, visit bouldercountybeekeepers.org. Thanks for watching Inside Boulder News. Stay in touch with us on Facebook by submitting news tips and questions, or send a Sign Me Up message to mycitynews@bouldercolorado.gov to receive video updates like this newscast in your inbox.